Hello and welcome back or welcome to the channel. I'm Loudguns, and with patch 4.4 now having gone live, we're going to take a look at one of the most anticipated new ships, the RSI Perseus. This gunship has been one that I've been really looking forward to for a while now, but it's not in my personal hangar, so a big thanks to Sylar and Sniping Cat for letting me on board their ships to take a look around. Never forget that you don't necessarily need to own all of the big ships. These ships are going to require crew, so you're always going to find a seat on one if you're looking for it. It is coming up on midnight my time, but I did want to just go ahead and get this straight out. So it might be a little bit rough and ready compared to what I usually try and put together. But if you don't mind that, and if this sounds good to you, grab that cup of tea while I roll the intro, then let's get into it. Just before we get in and take a look around this beautiful new ship from RSI, if you are looking to get into SC and you're currently watching from the sidelines, this is the perfect time. With the huge IAE event just starting, there will be a free fly in the coming days, so all you need is an account to get in and try things out without spending a penny. You'll be able to rent more than 100 ships for free, so you can get a really good feel for the game without parting with your cash. Just be sure to use a referral code when you create your account, giving you some bonuses if you do get a game pack afterwards. Mine's that one up on screen, but if you've got friends who play already, just ask them for theirs. In terms of spec quickly, all components are size 3, with 2 shields, 2 coolers, 2 power plants and the QT drive. But let's face it, it is all about those guns in this case. The main turrets are manned on the top and bottom, with dual size 8s, which are a custom ballistic cannon called the Medusa, and dual size 3s defaulted to Mantis Gatling guns. This is an incredibly cool setup, giving you the ability to switch fire groups depending on the size and agility of your targets, and not leaving you just twiddling your thumbs if you're just faced by fighters. There's also a remote turret with dual size 3s, again Mantises as default, which can be either controlled from the co-pilot seats or slaved to the pilot. For a bit of extra close protection, we've also got 6 PDCs. While the Perseus is nowhere near as torp heavy as its big brother the Polaris, we've also got a payload of 20 size 5 torpedoes on board, and that's a decent salvo to launch. Just beware of the reload costs, because after firing off a decent amount of those, our rearm cost was 500,000 credits. And just for info, the Perseus will take 9 minutes and 30 seconds to reclaim when expedited, which costs around 24k. So let's go ahead and take a look around. So we've just stopped in space, and I'm just going to EVA aboard through one of the 2 airlocks onto the lower of the 3 decks. And this just takes us into the cargo bay. This is a really nice room with the mezzanine running around the outside. If we just go ahead and switch that switch to open it up, you'll see that we've also got these nice little features, things like the warning lights running around the edges. Those are just like the ones that you see in your persistent hangars. Close that back up before I fall out of it. And you'll see that it does have ramps on the side, so you can use this to get some ground vehicles on board. Looks like it would comfortably hold a couple of RSI Ursas. So before I push that way, I'm going to just push on through here. And we've got the access to another elevator which can just take crew. And here we've got the rooms with the torpedo payload. This is just so cool. I am desperate to take a look and see if when we're firing the torpedoes, these actively reload in real time. And just close that back up. There's ladders all over the ship as well, so while we do have the main elevators which we'll come through to here, we've also got a ladder directly up in the cargo bay, and we've got kind of a Jeffries tube ladder to get all the way up through all of the decks. And similarly, the main elevator will run and stop at the mid-deck and also at the bridge deck. And here we've got access to the lower turret. So let's just go ahead and take the elevator up to the main deck. These RSI elevators, they do close a little bit slowly. Not quite as bad as the one on the Polaris though. So if we head to the rear of the ship first, this is where you'll find most of the crew quarters. We've got engineering right at the back. That's housing all of those components, and the engineering station for when that comes in. And then just to the right moving forward, we've got the crew bunk room. This has space for 6 crew, I believe. The captain gets their own quarters. Got a little bathroom there, and then forward into an armory with suit lockers for each of your crew and plenty of gun racks. Really nice to see CIG sort of adding these features to all sorts of ships. Particularly going to be useful for when we're a bit more restricted in terms of sort of carrying and wearing armor. And over on the other side, we've got a really nice mess hall. I've got to say, combat is something that I really enjoy doing. I personally love the industrial side a bit more. Walking around these really cool new RSI ships just makes me really look forward to the Arastra and the Orion. So through to the front, we've got the mezzanine that goes round the walkway that goes round the cargo deck. And then we can get forward to the torpedo bay. Here we've got another engineering station, and then we've got the torpedo firing console. As you see, as you get on board that, you've even got an animation of the torpedoes loading. You can use this to access a remote turret, which is just a cool little ball that swings around on the very front of the ship to help you aim those torps. And then right here at the front, we've got the access to the second turret, the upper one. We'll save the bridge for last, and first we'll take a look back on ourselves. We've got all the escape pods, and then we've got the captain's quarters as well. Really nice feature of the desk along with his bed. And of course, he's the captain. It might be a bit tight and squeezed, but he doesn't have to share his bathroom with anyone. And then moving forward, we can make our way to the bridge. Kazoon's doing a good job of guarding that. And up here we've got 3 seats, so they've removed the dedicated captain's chair from the ship, and instead the centre seat is just your pilot, and then you've got 2 co-pilot seats left and right of you. I've got to say, I kind of wish more ships had this sort of setup. I do like sitting right in the middle of a ship that I'm flying. But of course, we have to take it out for a spin in some combat. And in terms of handling, this ship is actually super manoeuvrable for its weight class. And for those happy with flying things like Connies and Corsairs, it actually seems to react a bit better than these. My hunch is that this might see a nerf in future patches. But for myself, having got used to flying things like the Idris and the Hull C, this is positively zippy. And that does mean that you can get those big guns onto target really nicely. It seems to function best if you look to broadside, because the lower turret suffers a little bit from visibility and its angles. However, both guns get really good targeting if you either sort of aim straight ahead but you've got a bit more range, or if you look to get into a broadside pattern by sort of circling an enemy. The ship really doesn't have as much HP as you might think though. It does have those 2 size 3 shields, which put it roughly equivalent to a hammerhead. But if you just get stuck into a close range brawl with something like a hammerhead, you're probably going to lose. So it is worth just bearing in mind that to use this well, you have to use the range of those size 8 cannons against ships of a similar weight class to yourself. You are perfectly capable of brawling with other ships though, things a bit smaller or less designed for combat. We do think that potentially there's a bit of a bug with a lower turret, because it does not seem anywhere near as responsive as the top one. The top one feels really good, and it has the 3 different gimbling modes, but the lower one only seems to have 2, and it seems to be lacking the most responsive of the gimbling modes. So that could just be a little something which needs an iron out. But the general feel of the weaponry is amazing, and I love this combination of guns allowing you to switch between the large and smaller weapons just to deal with different classes of enemy. I was a bit worried that the Perseus would be a bit stuck in its groove, like you have to just take on big ships, and you don't have anything to really punch back against the smaller stuff except for the PDCs. Of course, it is when fighting those larger ships though that it feels really good, and it's ultimately incredibly satisfying watching your heavy shells land and punch through a target, making relatively short work of chunkier ships. One area I was a little bit worried with the bespoke ballistic weaponry was that it would lack the sustain. However, you do have a fair amount of shots in your main ballistic cannons, so you're going to be able to stay out for a while on the basis of those. I think what I would probably do if one of these were mine is I'd probably be looking to switch those size 3 guns for laser repeaters, because the mantises do seem to run out of ammo pretty quick if you use them. So this ship is definitely one of those that shows how CIG keep making them better and better, so always a good reminder if you're sat waiting for your favourite JPEG that good things come to those who wait. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Have you had a go with the Perseus yet? How did you get on, and did it live up to your hype? I'll be covering more of the various new ships as they come out with this year's IAE, and be checking out more of the new content with the launch of the Nyx system. So if you enjoyed the vid and think I earned it, then please do consider hitting the subscribe button. With all that said, thanks for watching to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time.